people being external and asking the government about things, and it's not just America, it's worldwide, the Australian government, every single government. There needs to be a change, but we're the people that have got to change it, and we've got to change it from our own consciousness, not, again, going external, expecting change to start out there. It starts within, and then it projects outside yourself. That's what we've got to come to.
Awesome, yeah. You know, I love, there was a saying, and this is going to go outside the box of ufology again, which they hate, and I love to do that. But anyway, there's an old saying that it came from Mother Mary, who, just a little disclaimer, she's not Catholic. She's a universal being, and she's here for everyone. But I've had near-death experiences. I almost died as a kid, and she came to me over and over again and would talk to me and actually put me back together and healed me when I was 5 years old. So, but anyway, I have a close connection with her, and it's sad what the church has done with these beings that came here and talked about love and joy and bliss and nurturing and healing and making your own connection with Source, and they twisted these teachings. But I remember what she said. She said universal peace won't come through the religions or the politicians or governments. It's going to come through the hearts and minds of the people. And, you know, you can just turn that around and just say, you know, contact is not going to come through governments and religions and all these external authorities. It's going to come through the hearts and minds of the people. So it's up to us to not give our power away to all these external sources, do our own research, do our own spiritual practices, rise to the occasion, and have our own contacts. And that's the way contact is going to happen, and the higher dimensional beings are in full support of this. You know, and that's why when we do our events, we have so much activity here, because we're taking a more personal responsibility approach to this, and, you know, healing up our old wounds and traumas and wrong conclusions from past experiences, rising to the occasion, so we can hang out with these very, very spiritually and technologically advanced beings. And that's basically what we all have to do. So this other stuff is a great sideshow. You know, if you want to be entertained, you know, you can go to all these other events. They're great, but, you know, really what it all boils down to is personal responsibility and, you know, cleaning up our own consciousness and our environment and creating a space that welcomes these higher dimensional beings. So on that note, I'm going to pass this on to Greg here.
I'd like to ask Rob if we have one of these. You know, we've all from the teaser I saw the film. There's so many groups and people doing contact. It seems like it's ramped up exponentially in the last few years.
We've gone around the world, everywhere.
Your journey, and I know we touched on the spiritual component of filming as well. I was going to mention that, and you took the words out of my mouth almost. It's like I can't count the amount of times where the best events or experiences, it's almost like the batteries run out, the data's card is full, etc., etc. Can you talk about the film you're making, please?
Yes, well, it all started out when I was a kid. As with many people, I was 12 years old, and I just came out of Scouts and looked up, and kids in the street said, "Hey, mister." I must have looked like a mister with my Scout hat and shiny shoes and tie. I was only 12 years old then. And they said, "There's a helicopter up in the sky." And I looked up and said, "It's not a helicopter." And the kids disappeared, and I'm watching this thing. It's only up at about 800 feet. It comes lower and lower. I wait for my mom to come and pick me up, as the hair was kind of going up on my arm. And she got there. I got her to get out of the car and look, and of course it was gone. Right?
Yeah.
And I go home with my tail between my legs and figuring everybody's calling me alive. Next day, though, after I got home from school, my mom was all excited. She showed me the newspaper. It was all over the front page of the newspaper. So I know many people have been nervous to sort of come out on this subject all their life. Never happened with me, because I was literally validated the next day after my first experience. And I became a celebrity at school. I was the guy that saw the flying saucers.
Very positive first time.
And so that was, you know, I like that. And then, you know, everybody wanted, all of my friends wanted to see a UFO. And my friend across the street said, "How could I see one?" And I said, "I don't know. Maybe if we go on the roof of my house, we'll see some." Little did I know that we called them in. So we went up on the roof of the house a couple weeks later, and we were up there maybe half an hour, and we were getting kind of cold. We'd done all our chatting, and I was just going to say to him, "I don't think we're going to see anything."
Yeah.
And just as I said the word "see," hundreds of lights went across from the southern sky, or the northern sky, right across to the southern sky in like the second and a half.
Mhm.
Seen it in the heavens. We're now speechless. 30 seconds later, as we're still looking to the south, a whole flotilla went right across the sky. And it's like, wow. And of course, we headed across the street to tell my dad and mom they were at his folks' place, and they couldn't care less. And we just went back to my place and watched Star Trek. But anyway, fast forward to literally 50 years later, I had been doing some movies with a good friend of mine, Mark McNabb, who's here tonight. And during one of our movie sessions between sets, we were telling stories, and I told him the story. We moved on to other stories. I didn't think anything of it. And he went away for a few months and did research. He contacted a lot of people around the world and told my story. He came back to me and says, Rob, you and your friend called those ETs in, those things in. So I said, great, what are we gonna do? He said, we're gonna go travel around the world, we're gonna do documentary, we're gonna document people's stories, we're gonna go out in the field with them. And this is the difference between us and maybe some other documentaries who just send crews in, who really couldn't care less, they just wanna get the story and move on to another story. We are actually heavily involved with the people in the field. We'll spend a week or two with them. And I said, well, who's going to pay for it? He said, you are. Still paying for it. You can see the equipment out there. But nevertheless, it's been a fantastic 3.5 years so far. And we also have Liz Gorn with us. She speaks Spanish, and she's opened up the whole South American side of things for us, right, which is fantastic. We've been to 11 countries, over 30 cities. We've interviewed probably well over 200 people. We've been out in the field for thousands of hours. And we've got fantastic footage, but I have to say, the best footage is typically when we put all the equipment away. I got that one craft I showed you taken on the iPhone.
Yeah.
And then the mountains over Peru, that structured craft.
Yeah.
And we were in north of Vancouver, BC. We had heard there were things over the Squamish Rock there. We parked ourselves for 8 hours there, and we caught a fantastic 8-foot orb coming across the sky.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was the ISS until it went into the woods.
With the trees.
And you can hear me in the video going, oh, it's like it's in the woods. So that video has kind of gone viral, and it was investigated by MUFON, and we actually went back and we did all the math and everything 2 months later. And that sighting actually got picked as one of the top 13 for 2017 for everywhere in the world by MUFON. So we're quite happy about that. We wanted to come here to the ranch for 3 years. We finally made it here this weekend. We appreciate your hospitality, James. Fantastic place. And we've already seen lights in the sky last night.
Yeah.
We're going to go out tonight again and just see what we can get. But we're continuing on traveling around the world. I want to just dispute something Peter said, though. He said that all the governments around the world are closed to this and they're hiding it. Not so in South America.
Oh yeah, they're very open. Believe anything you can see on the TV there with the president pointing to it.
Yeah.
The governments are sort of like, look, America's never said UFOs don't exist. They said they're not a threat to national security. And everyone but really America's opened up the UFO documents as well. America's, yes, made Groves sign and Project Blue Book available as well. But it's going the next step.
And
that's right.
I'll just make another comment. We were in, and thanks to Liz, who's our partner in this Making Contact, Be Inspired project and documentary. We've met and been on expeditions with famous Sexto Paz Wells 3 times, and we've experienced fantastic things in South America. Totally
Yeah.
There's a village
Yeah.
that was on Japanese TV too down there, the UFO town. Did you go there? And
Not
was it
yet.
Peru? Yeah.
But the one thing I wanted to mention was we met the fellow who runs the UFO investigation for the government, works for the Air Force in Peru. We interviewed him in the condo we had rented for over 3 hours. He told us everything. And I could feel my face kind of turning red. I'm thinking, this guy's going to get in a lot of trouble. Right? He was telling one secret after another. And finally, Mark said, why would you tell us all this? And he said, why wouldn't I? And so it's totally open in Peru. We
Yeah.
interviewed people on the street, on the beach, and one group of guys were painting the side of a wall in a condo, and we came right up to them, and just sung like birds, told us everything what they've seen. It seems that people in South America, especially Peru,
Mhm.
everybody has seen and experienced something, and if they haven't, their brother, mother,
Oh,
sister, daughter, father, mother has.
Yeah.
So it's very, very open there.
Definitely, I noticed with Jaime Massan and Carlos Clemente, all their group, how, seeing what they've talked about with UFOs, how big it is in South America, also Japan, because I've done TV for Japan, it's like on the cards there, and also with Italy. Italy